Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Transcendent Mind Podcast, episode 3. Still having a blast, man. Still learning a lot. Still trying to figure out exactly how we want to make everything go. You know, whether we're going to make it long, short, engaging, controversial. Still trying to figure out how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it, okay?
You don't want to do controversial just yet. You want to, you're right.
Hey. But like always, I'm your host, Mr. B. Got my co-host over here,
Mike.
Just two individuals trying to have fun within life, I guess. Last podcast came out. I came to realize that man's mental health was a big thing. A lot of people listened to it. I love the feedback. I love everything that you guys gave me as far as, you know, of additional topics that you wanted us to go deeper involved into. And I got you. This episode we're gonna kick it off with man's mental health, and then we're gonna throw some more trinkets up in there as we go along. I'm gonna try to do a segment every 30 minutes. You know, I'm gonna try to break it in half a little bit, but some may go longer depending on how passionate we are about the subject. So, like I said, to kick this off, we're gonna go ahead and start off with opening up or doing a little bit expanding on man mental health as far as from a man's perspective. Of course, I don't know. I'll try to find women on here so we can actually get together and speak on their aspect or how they see or what they believe about man mental health. But in all actuality, who better to talk about man mental health than man, right?
True.
Right? So, unlike me running my mouth all day,
Don't do it.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up a different way, right? So, like I said, I've been through a lot. I've dealt with a lot. And I'm one of the very few men that believe that the label of man is not given out very easily. I believe that it takes a lot to become a man, but then that right there alone is the reason why mental health issues with man is like, it should be important. It's not right now. It's more on the back burner, like, oh man, mental health, oh, they'll figure it out.
But that's how a lot of us was raised. Our health isn't as important as a woman's mental health is. It's because we have to be so strong for everybody. The weight of the world is on our shoulders. We have to be more than just a man. We have to be man, father, brother, uncle, protector, provider, counselor. We have to be so much. And when we get home, a lot of us, when we get home, we still deal with so much outside our homes. We don't have that peace that we need. Like, there's so many men in this world that deals with so much, and they can't let it go to their significant other because whatever problems we dealt with outside of the home, we have to deal with our significant other's problems as well. And the minute we deal with their problems, it's who's there to help us with our problems. And I don't know how to put it, but I don't want to say it's not fair, but that's the hand we were dealt as men. And we were always told, figure it out. And a lot of us can't just figure it out. Some of us actually do need help. But who can we find that help from? We do have friends that we can talk to, vent to. But after a while, the venting that's there, but who's there to pick you up when you're down? Who's there to help you when you feel like you can't go any longer? Who's there to pull you up and say, you got it. Let's go. I'm with you. How many men can say that they have that one person? How many men can say that the weight of the world is on their shoulders and they're okay? A lot of men will tell you, I'm okay, but they're not. They're really not okay. Like there's people when they say, "I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry about it." Those are the ones you really want to latch on to. Those are the ones that's really going through it. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
No. I want you to ramble. So, first and foremost, let me explain something. This is not a bias. This is not, well, men deal with this, but women don't deal with nothing. No, that's not what this is. This is a man's venting session to explain to you guys what goes on in our head. So, a man mind is very, very simplistic. As much as people think it's complex, it is really not. We're concrete individuals. We see things for what exactly they are in front of us. Women have hindsight. They have foresight, shall we say. Men have hindsight. We understand what happened what happened after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
A woman has foresight where they can actually see things coming to a certain extent. Women's intuition, that's foresight. So when we sit here and say, what man have that person to go home to lean on, to be this? A man is statistically, or according to the society, supposed to be the backbone of the family, right? But backbones break.
Yeah.
What happens when we're put in a situation to where we cannot figure it out? We've been taught that we have to forget it. If you cannot fix it, forget it. There's a commercial. What they say, fix it, then forget it. That's pretty much the way this goes. So I look at podcasts, I look at all type of stuff all day because I need that energy in order to do this. I need to see things that question my mental state so that I can come on here and explain to you guys exactly how I feel about it. I was listening to something that said women screamed out for the longest that they want men to be more emotional, more sensitive. But nowadays, a sensitive man is looked at as they call the statement sassy or feminine, which I touched on last time.
But a lot of that is because a lot of women nowadays, they have this I'm independent mind state. I don't need no man for anything.
And that's true, which I'll touch on that here shortly.
Okay.
But that's the thing, right? You have men, you have women. Now, there's other out here, and I won't get into. Don't you start that.
We're not gonna get
and
into
I'm
that.
not saying that they don't play a part one way or another. But a relationship does not work if it what they call equally toe. Like two people bringing the same exact thing to a relationship will not work statistically due to the fact of, well, what do I need you for?
Mm-hmm.
See, the benefit to being in a relationship that is not equal is I'm not always going to be the top. I may need you for something, and that's what makes you valuable. That's what makes me want that. That's what keeps me with you.
Yeah.
Is because you make me whole. But if we both bring the same thing to the table,
what are we with each other for?
Exactly.
If I'm doing the same thing you're doing, and I've been doing this since before I got with you, what are we here for?
Man,
if it's just companionship, we could just be friends if that's the case.
Man, so a man's mental health is always looked upon as it comes second to a woman's mental health. A man's mental health is always looked upon as though our emotions are not equal.
We are not allowed to show emotions.
But no, see, here goes the thing. It ain't the fact that we're not allowed to show emotions, but we're not allowed to make people believe that their emotions are less than ours. We can show it as long as when they become emotional, we allow we cap our emotions and we focus.
It's not so much that, it's more so we're not allowed to be vulnerable. we're supposed to always be strong. We could never be vulnerable. Even though we're going through hell and still living today's, we can't be vulnerable for no one.
So let's look at it on this level. A man is supposed to be through society. No, through society. A man is supposed to be a provider and a protector, right?
True.
So if your protector is having a mental breakdown, who's going to protect him?
And that goes back to what I was saying. We're not allowed to have we're allowed to have them, but we can't show emotions, because when we break down, who's there for us? When we don't have that emotional support, we're taught to just move along. It's gonna be okay. But a lot of times it's not. That's why the society rate between men and women, the society suicide rate is so high in men than it is women, because we deal with so much. We have no one to talk to. Yes, we can go to a therapist, but a lot of times you have some therapists that's out here that they judge you while trying to counsel you.
And hold on, since you said that, hey Brian, if you don't mind, can you pull up the numbers, the male versus women suicide rate? Male versus female suicide rate in the world, not just the United States, but in the world. And I need to put something in perspective. People don't understand that women outnumber men.
Yeah.
In general, statistically, there's more women than it is men.
3 times more.
So you look at this, right? In the Western world, males die by suicide 3 to 4 times more often than women. So, and then the greater male frequency is increased in those over the age of 65. Suicide attempts are between 2 to 4 more times frequent among females. So understand this, right? I'm assuming they're saying females commit, they have more suicide attempts, but males go through with the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now understand what I'm saying. If males, percentage-wise, are committing suicide at a higher rate, a lot of people don't know the reason why a lot of those suicide attempts don't go through with women is because somebody is there to help.
Exactly.
Like, I've seen young men with cut marks on their wrists go unnoticed. A lot of people believe that males that's out here doing, like, showing anger and trying to be aggressive towards people, that man is mentally going through some things.
It's a sign of help. It's a cry for help. Let me say that.
And guess what? Unfortunately, if you're not the right person to touch that person, they're not going to let you in. Once you build this understanding in your mind that no one cares, no one is going to come to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you adapt and you go into survival.
Yeah.
You become a Neanderthal. So your mind shuts down the intelligence part and you're just literally reacting off everything.
Yeah.
I looked at the numbers of male abuse ratings, right? Like, males have been abusing women out here,
Mm-hmm.
which is beyond, like, that's a whole nother conversation. That is beyond, like, pathetic. For a man to put his hands on a woman is pathetic. For a woman to put her hands on a man is pathetic. There's too many clips out here that show people doing social experiments where a woman will go down the street busting a man across his head and hitting him, and no one looks. Everybody, matter of fact, no one helps. Everybody laughs.
But the minute a man puts his hands on a woman, you have the whole world attacking that young man.
Man, and then guess what? If no one comes to her aid, everybody getting crucified. How dare y'all walk past her and didn't do nothing?
And she's the one who started it.
But then you look at a female and they say, well, that was a man. If she can beat up on him, she can beat up on us. Well, hell, who are supposed to protect us then? So get this, right? Now we're the provider, the protector.
And we
So
have to protect ourselves.
the protector can never be protected.
According to society, no.
So you gotta understand, ladies. And like I said, this is not a bash on the good ones that's actually trying to figure out their guy, trying to figure out how to help, trying to figure out how to be the emotional support. But unfortunately, there's a higher, a greater quantity that's more visual, not caring, than there is caring.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is what it is. And I can break this down into a race thing. I could break this down into an age thing.
I wouldn't say so much race because
Oh no, you can break things down.
I mean you can, but I wouldn't say so much race because it's happening all over the world.
No. So understand, right? It's happening all over the world. Yes, man, mental health is one thing. But there's a class of males out here that's being attacked by a bunch of people, including themselves, that statistically I can actually bring up, but I'm not yet. It's coming, but I'm not yet. So I'm gonna put this in perspective. I posted on my social media site a couple of years ago. The only things that's love unconditionally is women, kids, and dogs.
Yep.
And all men are loved under the condition of.
The condition of them, what they can provide, what they can do.
Exactly. So at that point, I had a bunch of women come up and say, oh, what happened to you? Who hurt you? Oh, you're in your feelings. And I said, no, I'm being honest. And I never said women are the ones that don't love men. Men don't love men the way that we should.
No.
And I said, so let's put this in perspective. A homeless woman that looks a certain way could be on the street and a man will come by and wife her up. Will take care of her, will build her into whatever he wants her to be. I put it in perspective. I said, how many women out here will pick a homeless man off the street and take him into your house and build him into the man you want? Oh no, I didn't build myself to be this type of woman to take care of no man. Exactly. A man can walk past a woman on the street and give her money. A man will walk past another man on the street and judge him.
Yep.
So when I say man mental health, I don't mean just towards women. Men do not give other men the understanding that I know what you're going through.
Yep.
And I'm going to be here for you. No, we look at him like, well, you put yourself in that position. You need to figure it out. So if it comes from us, how is it that we expect how is it we can expect women to try to come in and say, well, we're going to help y'all. We won't help us.
Oh.
So how is it that they can help us? My dude, I've been doing therapy for better of 10 years. And I've talked to multiple women that want to be therapists. And I tell them point blank, don't do it. Well, what you mean? Women are natural empaths. It is naturally known that a woman will absorb the emotions of the people in front of her because she's a nurturer.
Mm-hmm.
Her thought pattern ain't to analyze. It's to try to freaking encompass. It's try to hold. So with me saying that, and I know it's a lot of successful women psychologists and therapists out here, and I appreciate you guys. And I'm not knocking y'all on y'all job. But one reason why a lot of men don't want to see a female president or don't want to see a female in certain situations is because you guys' superpower is also your biggest weakness. You're driven by your emotions. And that's not necessarily a bad thing until it gets put in a bad situation. So like I said, a man screams out for help the same way a kid does. It's just messed up that his voice goes unheard. That man may just ask for a couple of minutes to himself. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't have the ability. Hell, we can call our friends, and a lot of our friends think we weak because we going through some simple stuff.
And a lot of time, and I was just talking to someone the other day, A friend, I don't have friends. What I have are either associates, brothers, or sisters. And the reason I say that, you can be an associate and it's still a good thing. But if I call you a friend, I consider you either my brother or my sister. I don't, friends come and go. Family is, family isn't always who you, family isn't always related.
No, I agree. Family is not. So let me rephrase that, right? So my relatives is dictated by blood. My family is dictated by emotions. In all actuality, I have people that's my blood that are not even associated with me, and I have people that is literally that's not my blood, that's been family for a long time,
Yep.
and that's sad. But at the same time, as I sit back and think about it, that's life.
Yeah.
Just like anything in life, the minute we spread apart, we don't affect each other the same way. So we are no longer emotionally attached to each other. And that's totally understandable. But yet again, I'm not going to go too far away from what we were talking about, because that's family. That's a totally different subject.
Yeah.
Ladies and men out here that's listening to this, how many times have you walked past somebody that looked like they was going through something, and either your pride of not caring, or the fear of not knowing how they'll react to you just turning around and saying, "Are you okay?" Sometimes people just want to talk,
Yeah.
and you'll walk past them and won't even look at them to not create that connection. And that's sad. The reason why society is the way it is because we no longer care about each other.
A lot of us don't care about ourselves.
So that puts that in perspective, right? I remember I told somebody a long time ago, you can't love no one until you learn how to love yourself.
And that is so true. That is so true.
So if your leader, if your protector, if your provider is in front of you, and the person that's controlling your livelihood needs help is not hard.
I mean, for a lot of people it is, because it's all about me, 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 me.
Yet again, I can't say a lot of people, because what we see on social media and what we see on the news is a vacuum. There might be millions of people out here that do care, and that go unseen, that go unheard,
Yeah.
and don't have a platform to actually say, hey, I'm one of the ones that actually do care. I'm one of the ones that's doing things to help, but may not have the resources or means to publicize it. They only do it one person at a time. And that's understandable. Keep doing it. Keep trying. At one point in time, you're going to make a breakthrough, and it's going to become so loud, you're not going to be able to bear it yourself.
Exactly.
But for the ones that don't sit back and judge the ones that do.
Yeah.
The ones that don't sit back and wonder why your life is the way it is.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When you don't care about somebody, you just telling everybody you don't care about you.
Yep.
And with that, I'm going to close out this session, or this segment of the podcast. You know, we're going to take a couple of seconds break, just because I want to recap, and then we going to fire off something else that's going to actually feed off of this segment. So, yeah, give me a couple of seconds and I'll be right back. So let's do this part 2, right? Part 2 is going to be the inequality of sexuality, okay? And I need everybody to understand what I mean by that, right? I'm not sitting here saying one sex is better than the other one, because I don't believe it is. I believe it's man brings something to the relationship, women bring something to the relationship, right? But society keeps trying to put ownership, they keep trying to put so much into one sex. Oh, well, women do this. Oh, well, men do this. It's no longer a partnership. It's like a tug of war of responsibility.
It's not so much a tug of war, it's like a competition.
I agree. 100%. Hey, give me a fist bump for that, Mark. Hey. We're competing in a relationship and we supposed to love each other, right?
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, right? There's friendly competition,
Yeah.
which we both win. But it's like you sit back and you think about it and it's, well, who's winning? you look at things and they say, well, things like, well, women are getting paid less for doing the same job. Men are getting less. They're getting jobs that don't pay as much because women are more highly educated than men are. And as I sit back and I think about all this, right? So wait, a woman said the other day, men are trying to reduce the standards of women because we can no longer stand up or equal what they're bringing to the table.
Mm.
And I said, well, dang, wait a minute. So here we go, right? Here go this proverbial table as we speak, right? If you want a man to provide and protect for you, right? And I'm talking about the provide portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
You sitting back telling me, well, because he don't make what I make, he can't even sit at my table. And this is not all women, just a good percentage. So you fight to get the same job I got to then tell me I
can't sit at your table because I don't make the money you make. So roles are reversed in today's society. There's a lot of, statistically speaking, women are starting to make more than men now. So pretty much what they're saying is, since I make more than you, there's nothing you can do for me. You have to do what I say. You have to.
It's a control aspect.
Yeah.
So here we go, right? If that's the case, if the world is going to go based off control, right? Then nothing will ever progress because who will lead? Now, don't get me wrong, right? I believe it should be a leader in the household.
Yes.
But men lead differently than women lead. Women lead emotionally. Men lead physically. So therefore, am I saying a man can't be an emotional leader of the household? What I'm telling you is if a man have to be the emotional leader and the physical leader of the household, that goes back to man mental health all over again. To be in a relationship means that I'm in a situation with somebody that I feel like can make me better.
Yeah.
That's the whole aspect. It ain't sex. It ain't status. It's I'm with somebody that I feel can make me better as a person.
In so many words, that makes me complete and vice versa.
Exactly. So because I'm saying that makes me complete, it means that you're good or great at something I can't do, and I'm good or great at something you can do. But if you sit back and think about that, then if you're good or greater than me at something in a relationship, how are you not the leader of it?
I never thought about it like that.
If you can do something in a relationship, how is it that you upset that I want you to lead? If I'm an introvert and you're an extrovert, you like going out and doing things, how can you get mad that I've never went nowhere. You like going out, so lead me. Maybe if you show me some things and take me some places, it'll activate me to know what you like and how we can move around. But that's an issue in a lot of relationships.
It is.
To sit back and say, well, you don't never do nothing. Well, I didn't do it when you met me. If the standards was set when you met somebody 10 years down the line, how can you now not want to be with that person for something that you've known 10 years?
Damn, I ain't even got an answer for that one.
Dude, so if a person is away in a relationship and you have modifiers, which is kids, which is marriage, which is jobs, which is life.
Yeah.
Whether it's bringing somebody life entering the world or somebody life losing the world. unfortunately, the human mind is built to a certain extent that we categorize what's important to what's the least important.
Mm-hmm.
So some that your significant other may do, whether you're a man or a woman, may not affect you when you have a modifier in your life.
True.
But once that modifier goes away, that annoyance that you've seen all this time now becomes primary.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is when you address it, the person that you're addressing it to didn't know it was an annoyance and had been doing it all this time. But here goes the communication breakdown. You're mad at them because they won't change. They mad at you because they feel like you just starting to have, you're just picking. And now you're just this issue is just starting. I've been doing this all this time because there's no communication. I say that because most relationships break down because there is no, everybody say, well, go to church. Let God lead your relationship. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand and believe in religion, but at the same time, I believe that freedom of choice was something that came up. One of the biggest powers that God gave everybody. Of course, other than women, they have the freedom, they have the ability to reproduce, which is the greatest thing that anybody can ever do. That's godly right there in the womb, right there, the ability to create life. But yet and still, you can't create life without a guy. Well, now science is doing some weird stuff, and that's totally different.
That's a whole nother concept.
But you sit back, a man will never be able to have a child.
No.
As much as women say, well, men and women are equal, we're not, because a man can never have a child. That is the biggest flex that a woman can say to a man that can't no man stand up and say, well, I can't. No, you cannot, bro.
If you can, you'll be the richest man in the world.
You'll be the most painful man. But what I'm saying is, women are out here fighting for equality when we can't beat y'all. We can't.
Oh.
And what people fail to realize is men don't make money for men.
Men make money for their families. It's never about the man.
A man can live off the land and not care.
Nope.
Most men want money to attract women.
Yep.
That's just clear and dry. If any man want to step up to me and say, I make money for myself, he a damn lie. Because in all actuality, the way society has built man is to believe that the more money we make, the more options we have for females.
Yeah.
It was a funny video that somebody did a while ago explaining why men can't be hoes, right? Right? And the question was, how is it a man that has sex with multiple women not a hoe, but a woman that has sex with multiple men is a hoe? And a man came out and said, because men only have sex with who he can. Women have sex with who they choose.
Yep.
Now, of course, you have violations and all this other bogus. I'm talking about consensual sex. I'm not talking about all this other stuff. A woman chooses who she wants to have sex with.
Yeah.
So yet again, all of this power, but the biggest superpower a woman has is the ability to be a victim. And this is not a bad session. I'm being real. Like, sit back. If you really listen to my words, you'll understand. Like I said, a woman can get attacked by a man in the middle of the street. The video, and women, y'all need to really understand this. A video a couple of weeks ago of a woman saying she got hit in the face with a brick by a man.
Mm-hmm.
And all these men was around her and nothing happened. Come to find out, it was all a lie.
That was the one that wanted the GoFundMe page or something like that?
She's done it 3 times and made a GoFundMe page every single time she done it. But what I'm saying is that's the little boy that cried wolf. So understand, you've never seen a man come out talking about some, yeah, oh my God, these women beat me up and all these women stood around and never. Not one time. Not one time. And like I said, this is not a sex bias statement, because I feel that women are extremely precious. I feel like they are the most valuable commodity in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a really big false motion in believing that man creates the self-worth of a woman, and that's not true.
The key word in that is self.
Exactly. Women go out here and they search for attention, not knowing that they naturally get it.
Yeah.
Men go out here searching for females naturally. It is natural in our bodies to find and sought out a woman. And like I said, we can go other ways. We'll say significant other, but right now I'm literally leaving it as a man or woman situation. Do you know that a lot of men out here that changes sexuality initially cried out for mental help and no one answered? So they adapted to a form that they can get help at. Thus, the change. As much as people think that man can naturally be attracted to other men, and I'm not saying that it can't. Yet again, I'll leave that for a future conversation. Because my mind goes through a whole nother direction when I say stuff like that. But let's go back to this. Equality within sex, right? You want me to be the breadwinner, but you want to be me.
That's a lot of females. That's the
And
independent
not all.
woman.
Not
No, it's not
all.
all.
But this is what people are trained to do. Like, you're looking at what you call evolutionary change.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at women feeling like they want more in life, so they're becoming independent. You're looking at men feeling like they're less in life, so they're adapting to a less mind state.
Yes.
They don't want to go get it no more. They're settling for whatever the hell they can get. See, that goes back to women intelligence. Women are hyper intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can adapt and change to whatever the situation y'all choose to change to. Men can't. Men feed off of women. So guess what? Oh, you gonna let us be the superhero and protect y'all? Cool, we all gonna do that. Oh, you want us to, we not equal to y'all? So you want us to sit down and shut up? All right. And then the minute men start sitting down and shut up, well, y'all not men. It's like, well, what you want me to do? It's an argument that there's no winning to. Because at the end of the day, provide, protect, shut up. Okay. Well, look, man, I could build stuff. Well, I could build stuff too. Well, I could cut my own grass. Okay. Well, I mean, if somebody came up to mug you, well, I got a concealed weapons license. I carry. I let this thing off if I have to. Okay. Then what's the point of this? What's the point? Because now that makes the common relationship thing just sexual.
Yeah.
And then that people even say, man, I got toys for that too. So it's like, well, I mean, I don't know what to do at this
What
point.
am I here for?
Exactly. So if everything that I could bring to the table, you take off the table, then what am I? I'm irrelevant now, huh? I'm irrelevant until you become a victim. And then once you become a victim, now not only am I relevant, but I'm not doing my job.
Yeah. I can't even argue it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I can't argue that because you see it all over the place. You see it on social media, you see it on the news. It's always, why didn't this man help this woman in whatever situation it is? And that's because we as men have become, like you said, irrelevant. Women are now the breadwinners of the family. They're the emotional support. They're men. I'm not saying this to bash women. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but most women today have become the man in a relationship, and the man has become the woman without any value.
I agree. Not only do I agree, but think about it in this perspective, right? I'm not putting all the blame on women.
No, some men we have to take some responsibility in this because
Man, we haven't evolved as fast as they have.
and not only that, it's you have some weak-minded men that's just gonna
Oh no, they gonna lay down, they gonna lie down and curl up. They gonna accept whatever society let them
exactly.
accept. But that's the thing though, right? Because of social media, because of the media in a whole, social media, news, whatever you want to call it, right? They've amplified these nothing.
Nothing as men. Go ahead and say it.
They've amplified these individuals, right?
Nothing as men.
Not only that, but this fraternity that I call manhood, they've given my label to everybody now.
But everybody is born. I don't want to say everybody. Every man is born a boy, but it takes for them to become a man.
Right. So every male stage, you a child, you a boy child, you grow up to a grown male, and responsibilities make you into a man.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the world, the minute you turn 18, everybody is so quick to call you a man. Even teenagers are being called young man.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, to be a man is an occupation. That is not a label. That is not a gender. It is not a sex.
That is something that's earned.
Bro, like, I went through trials and tribulations to get this label.
You and me both.
So to sit back and name drop when you see these young males or these dumb men out here making dumb decisions, I should be able to take that card back. Like, hey, bro, you a man. I need your manhood card back. You back to a grown male. I'm sorry. But women hold each other accountable as well. Like, I remember when they was doing the whole tip drill video and Nelly got boycotted because they said he demeaned women. Those women signed contracts and was paid. How that's just like telling me I'm at fault because my employees work for me.
You are.
They went to an interview. They got selected out of a group of people, and they get paid to do a task that they agreed to when they signed their freaking I-9s.
But at the same time, in today's society, women are always victimized. Women are always, as they say, they're being womanized because that's how men see them.
Now, here goes the thing about that, right? Then they should go after the woman that's creating that appearance that they don't want to be seen as. The same way as males, as grown men, should go after the males with that name or dictation of being called a man and doing stupid stuff that they know they shouldn't be doing either. But there's no accountability within, people say there's no accountability within a race, or there's no accountabilities within a religion, or look, bro, there's no accountabilities in life, period. Amongst that social group, there's no accountabilities. People know when things are wrong.
Yeah.
And they do not step in to say it because everybody like, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
They pick and choose. Everyone picks and choose on what battles they're going to fight when it comes to accountability.
That's because everybody wants to do what's easy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do what's easy. One of my favorite freaking motivational speakers, right? His name, Eric Thomas. And I'm going to paraphrase what he said for the most part because I don't remember it verbatim. But he basically said, you let you down.
Mm-hmm.
When do you take accountability for what you do and stop blaming people and becoming a victim for something that you did? You cannot put yourself in a situation to deal with an outcome and then turn around and say, I'm a victim because the outcome didn't turn the way I wanted it to turn.
It's easier to become the victim than it is to take accountability. That's why a lot of people decide they're going to be the victim in their situations.
I understand that, but that's because society allowed them to be a victim. Like, you sit back and you think about and I'm trying not to go too far, but parenting. Let's talk about inequality when it comes to just that situation, right? So two people lay down and have consensual sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
Woman get pregnant, right?
Yeah.
That man has lost a brother. He's lost a sister. He's lost a mother. He's yearning for somebody to call his own. So he wants the kid. She's in college. She has a career. She don't have time for no child. So she said, I don't. His reason or feelings on that child has absolutely nothing to do because her body, her choice, right?
That's what they say.
But here goes the thing. Let's reverse it. He has a career. Hell, he's in the NBA. I don't want a child. This was a fling. No, I don't want a child. She say, well, I'm keeping it, right? Your body, your choice, right? But I'm instantly get put on child support.
That's today's what it's.
How fair is that? Now, don't get me wrong. No, like abortions. I feel like a woman has the ability to do whatever with her body she wants to. But guess what? The day that we come to the conclusion that I didn't want this child, I should be able to go in front of a judge at that moment, and the judge can say, well, ma'am, you want to keep the child, right? He said he don't want to keep the child. Okay, so he told you this. Matter of fact, let's even wait. Let's do it another way. I told you I didn't want kids before we had sex. And
But
you said, okay.
not to cut you off. That falls on both of them, actually. Number one, you told her you don't want kids to
But you
begin
had
with.
sex unprotected.
My point exactly. You knew what the outcome, you knew what could happen having sex unprotected. If you said you didn't want kids, you should have put a condom on.
No, I 100% agree. But what I'm saying is the fact of this. Yes, they both chose to have consensual sex. And yes, we understand the outcome of unprotected sex. We understand a multitude of outcomes, but that is one of the biggest ones.
True.
But at the same time, we've both made choices this whole entire time.
Exactly.
But the minute a baby becomes into play, a male's choice is not, he don't have that ability no more.
I feel what you're saying. I do. I agree and I don't agree because my thing is this. I'm sorry, I don't want to say my thing.
You can say your thing, go do your thing.
No, so this is the case. You don't want children. If she's telling you she's gonna have a child, number one.
What if she told you she didn't? What if she say, oh, I don't want to have a child either?
Okay, y'all need to put on a damn condom. Period.
I understand that,
but if you don't put on the condom, you say you don't. You say you don't want children, you don't put on the condom, and you decide to shoot the club up that night.
That's consensual, huh?
It's still consensual because both of y'all agreed to it.
Totally understand.
But at the same time, I understand what you're saying. Where once the baby is born, the man pretty much has no say so, even though he said he don't want it. That's on both of y'all. Y'all need to figure out, or the courts is going to figure it out.
And that's another future conversation as far as courts dictating what a child needs in a family. Especially a family that's not even broken.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole totally different conversation. But no, to go back on what I'm saying, society has created so many categories. They've labeled everything. And for everybody, for women to fight for equality, understand that it still ain't equal. It's still not equal for neither one of us.
It'll never be equal.
Like we're not equal humans. Period. And we should be. But unfortunately, that ain't the way the world is. Like I said, this ain't a bashing on women thing. This ain't a bashing on man thing. It's something that I want people to really sit back and think about. Like, there's so many battles out here to fight in the world. Why do we keep making a battle of sex? Guess what, man? Your sexuality is your sexuality.
I wasn't even about to go into that. That's a whole nother. We'll talk about that once we get to that topic. But yeah.
But why is it that people gotta? And I always want to do this. We're gonna segue to the next subject next time. The next time is gonna be sexualities. We're gonna have a whole conversation. Now, your sexuality is your sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares until you want them to care.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you want them to care, you shouldn't care about how they feel if they don't agree with the way you feel. Once you put it in the public, then you cannot get mad at public opinion. That's going to be the subject of next one.
Public opinion?
Public opinion. So, once again, I appreciate you guys for listening to this podcast. Yet again, you know, I'm out here trying to put my heart and my head together and come out with content. Please leave feedback. Please. We're on everything now. TikTok. Man, everything but Twitter. I'm going to make that tonight. No, but we're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like, follow us at all the things. And because shortly we're going to start segmenting things up, and it's going to be a lot. You'll be able to get different portions from different places. Let's just say that. So, other than that, appreciate you guys for listening. Stay blessed, and good night.